Hey, it's Paul Blough. It's time for another 5 by 5, and today we're going to be talking about the Apple Watch, something that I have been a advocate for from the very, very beginning. When I heard about it, I was really excited about it, and I'm honestly a really, really early adopter of it. So I've got a little bit of experience with it. We're going to share some of our insights from having used it for a little while, and if you'll look over at Jeff Lovett's wrist, he also has one too. I think you got yours around Christmas time.
I got mine at Christmas. I wasn't really expecting it. My wife, I actually told my wife that I didn't want one, because I didn't really know.
Good way to get one.
I didn't know exactly what the thing was about. And so when I opened up the box and found it, I'm like, wow, an Apple Watch. What am I supposed to do with it? You know? And so I put it on, and since then, I actually love it. I mean, I have a bunch of watches. I'm a watch collector, but since Christmas, this is the only one that I've worn.
Right.
So tell me what you think about yours so far.
I love it. I did not think it was going to change the world. And I really don't think that if you're not an Apple fanboy that you're probably going to care too much about it either. But the idea of the smartwatch in general, whether it's the Google version or it's someone else's or it's the Apple, I think is a really, really neat product. And I think it shows how the Internet of Things and how all of the different devices are going to begin to talk to each other and mesh with one another. That's what I like about it is how well it integrates with my phone. And I have an iPhone. And so if I get a text message on my iPhone, it shows up on my watch. And if I'm in a meeting, I can just casually lose that number right there and see that is it something I need to deal with right away. And honestly, I'm not the best texter in the world. I don't really like texting extremely well. And so oftentimes my answers are like, yes, no, okay. Your very simple one-word responses, and they're actually built into the watch.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, and I just got a text from someone, and I can just click on it, and it just gives me an option to reply, and I click on reply, and I can click, okay. There we go. So, okay. Actually, I clicked a little smiley face. There's a bunch of emoticons you can send. The one thing I will tell you, though, is if you don't have an Apple phone, if you don't have an iPhone, you better not get a watch.
No, yeah, there's no
Apple
reason.
Watch, because it won't. I don't know that it even works without.
Yeah, I wouldn't
iPhone.
think that it would either.
It won't even pair with a non-iPhone.
Yeah, and it's really not its design. If you're an Android user, if that's what you love as far as your platform, then you need to get an Android device on your wrist.
And there's a ton of those, because I went to the store, I think Best Buy the other day, and they've 500 different of those models, and they have some really big ones. I mean, some of these guys are making watches that are the size of a small plate you can put on your arm. They're cool, but they're really expensive. I mean, there was like $4,000 or $5,000 models in the store. So I'll tell you what I think. I really like it. I wish that there were some more businessy type uses on it, but the thing that I like the most, I have gotten to where I'm so busy that I have tons of scheduled appointments throughout the day, and I had a hard time checking my phone because I keep them on the calendar on my phone. Having to go to my phone, open my phone with my thumb, look at my calendar, close it down, put it back on my thing. Now I can just go, and I've got the cool thing about it. And I guess you can't really see that from here, but you can choose the different watch faces. Now you've got yours on the big senior citizen,
exactly.
the big senior citizen numbers right there, and it's got a bunch of different watch faces you choose. The one that I've got has got a bunch of stuff on it, and it's got my appointment right there in the very middle. My next appointment of the day is right there in the middle, and I can tap it and scroll through and see what my next thing is for the day and my whole schedule all week long. So it'll actually vibrate and tell me what my next thing is going to be for the day. And all I have to do to set an appointment is just press the button and say schedule blah blah blah, and it'll set it for the next thing that I've got to do. So I really, really like that. And I like to be able to see what the temperature is before I go out. So if I need to put on a coat or whatever. There's a lot of great uses for it, and there's some pretty cool business uses for it. And then I can see a lot of app. You press that little thing here, and there's all these apps on it, so I can read emails. I don't like the fact that for most of my emails are too long, and it says go to your phone to read them.
Right. So I think and that brings up a good point. What is it used for, and what is it not used for? And to me, I don't think of it as a replacement for my phone or my iPad or computer. I think of it as a supplemental device. And as a supplemental device, if it can give me 15 seconds more productivity by not having to stop and pull out my phone, then I think it's a win for me. So somebody that's keenly focused on time management, I do think that you get some pretty significant advantages. I also like the haptic feedback where it taps you. And so I have had a problem as I've gotten older, of not hearing my phone. I always, 100% of the time, leave my phone on vibrate. And depending on the model of the phone, sometimes I can hear the vibration. If the phone is like, I keep it in my jacket, I may not feel it up against me. But with the watch, I don't miss calls because the watch vibrates and it taps me.
It has two settings. It has like a light vibrate and then like a super heavy vibrate, which I have on, the super heavy one, and it does. And I used to actually keep my phone ringer on low because I couldn't hear the vibration. And now I keep it on mute like that all the time now. So the vibration helps.
Yeah, and I think that's both good from a productivity standpoint, but I even think from a cultural standpoint, one of the things that we deal with is the electronic interruption. I mean, constantly you're at the movie, somebody's phone rings, you're at church, somebody's phone is ringing, and so that's why I always keep my phone off or on vibrate, because no one else was going to be able to hear it. But again, the problem has been that I don't always feel it when it vibrates, and I certainly, because of my age, don't always hear it when it vibrates. And this has solved that problem. So I think it allows me to have this device and to have it on, not actually physically turned off. So I'm still plugged in and connected if somebody needs to get a hold of me, but I'm not being rude to people round about me.
All right, so I'll tell you two more things I like, and then you can tell me two more things you like, and then we'll be done. Two more things I like. It's got this cool thing that tells me to stand every hour.
Yep.
And does it do that to you?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so it has kind of a health little deal that you're supposed to stand for a few minutes every single hour, because apparently sitting all day is what makes guys like you and I have strokes and heart attacks and die. It's the sitting. So every hour it beeps, and I look at my watch thinking I'm getting a text from somebody, that I've won the lottery, but it just says stand. So I stand up. And then it says, great, you've met your goals. And every day at the end of the day, it says you've stood enough today, to live another day. So I like that. That's pretty cool. And at the end of the week, it gives me a little report of how many times I've stood. So I've met my health goals. The other thing I like is it has a remote control for your phone camera. So now I can put my camera on a tripod somewhere, and I can, walk away to take a picture of my family, and I just press a little button on my phone and it snaps a picture of me. And it works a long way away. I did this at church the other day. I set it way up in the front of the church, walked way back in the back of the church, like 80 feet away, snapped the button, and it took the picture. It doesn't work with video, but it does work with a camera, and you can actually see on the screen what the phone is taking a picture of, that's really, really cool. So any really little cool things like that you like?
So with me, it's apps. There are all kinds of apps that have Apple Watch, capabilities built into them. One of the programs we use, Trello, has a way. It works with the watch as well, so we can see Trello updates and Trello notes being broadcast to the watch as well. There are games. I'm playing a game called Lifeline right now that is connected to the watch, and so it's about a little guy who's crashed on a moon and he can't contact anybody, and he has somehow made contact with your phone, and so now either
very realistic.
My
people on Mars would be calling my phone. They would.
My phone or my watch, and he's asking me for advice. It's almost like I'll go real old school here. Anybody remembers Zork, which were those text adventures? It feels very much like that, except for you're directing somebody else, and he's asking you questions. Do I go left? Do I go right? And so it's actually been pretty fun, but it works as an example with the watch as well.
Apparently, you're not nearly as busy during the day as I am. If you can play Zork, so
that's right.
All right. Well, so that's another cool thing you can do with your Apple Watch. And I don't know. Out of 10 stars, I would give it probably an 8. What about you?
I would agree. I think it's an 8, and maybe even towards the 7. Even though I love it and I'm glad that I had it, I believe that, as with many products with Apple and other companies, this is version 1.0.
Right.
And when version 2 comes out, they're going to have learned some things. And one of the things that I expect version 2 or version 3 will incorporate a video camera into it, and then we will have our Dick Tracy video
Absolutely.
watch.
Just like the iPad started out kind of simple, and now it's developed into this great thing. The next version will be even greater. And the cool thing about it is this is all software based, so we get new software versions, and it'll keep on growing. So that's our take and our recommendation. I think if you're a business person, really, it's worth the money to buy one.
Yeah, and both of my girls are in college. They asked for Apple Watches for Christmas, and both got them, and they've been very happy with them as well.
My kids don't even ask. You're not getting one yet, maybe. So, All right, so that's the show today. we'll review something else real techie. Maybe we'll even pull out a copy of Zork and do that next time.
Text adventures are back.
Thanks for watching.